Hello, we're going to be installing Linux onto this lightly used HP Omen. I've got a friend who's nervous about dipping his toes into the Linux ecosystem, and I'm hoping to alleviate some of his concerns about getting started. Every Debian desktop is about as easy to use as Windows. We'll keep some video chapters as jump points in the description below. We are taking HDMI output from the Omen and passing it to my host machine through this capture card. Okay, CMOS checksum invalid. Computer will restart afterwards. Enter to restart the computer. CMOS reset. That's fine. Okay, system diagnostics. Let's get a hard drive check. Quick check. No hard drive installed, so they just pulled it out. I'm wondering if they're powering over, if they're doing network boot entirely, because it was from a LAN. There's a good chance that it's network booting. Do I really need to run this whole thing? No. I should, but no. Okay. Exit. Yeah. Can we get into actual BIOS right now? Alright, F10 key. F10 is the BIOS setup. Function F10. Okay, 16 gigs of RAM, TPM device available enabled. Boot options, network boot enabled. Aha. Let's disable that. Let's enable USB boot. Legacy support, we're gonna enable. Yes, because we didn't really have an OS anyway. Debian. We will plug the Debian USB into the back of the machine. We'll save changes. Save changes and exit, please. Let's see if we boot to Debian. Escape for the startup menu. We'll see if it actually posts. Hey, that's a good sign. Graphical install. Alright, I am going to hide my desktop for now. During recording, I went a little bit further than this, but I quickly realized that the hard drive truly isn't connected. So I pop the case open and plug in the SATA data line, try saying that 5 times fast, and we reboot the system. I'm just gonna mash on escape. Executing post delay, escape key for startup menu, so I'm hitting escape, but it went to Windows anyway. Restoring the hard drive causes it to default to booting to Windows. Just says Helix. Well, it's not an empty password. Seems like the password was Helix. I don't really want to boot into their system. We're mashing escape key on a keyboard that I hope is working. Can I go to my USB? We're good? Alright, give me a sec. United States, American English. Again, most of this really is as hands-off as installing a clean copy of Windows. Network mirrors let you get some updates and additional packages installed straight from the installation. This motherboard has a wireless card. I'm just going to use that and connect it to my home Wi-Fi, but you could use an Ethernet cable if you wanted. Enter the password for it. It'll go through key exchange. We don't want it to be Debian, we want it to be Helix. Domain name isn't important for home use. Root password is your admin account, and it is very important that you remember it. Name for the new user, let's just go with user. Set a password that you remember. Should get the clock. I am Eastern time. That works for me. I am going to keep it simple and just use the largest continuous free space. No, use entire disk, because I want to wipe out whatever's there. Oh, they gave us a terabyte. Western Digital WD10EZEX60W. We're gonna keep it all in one partition to keep things easier. Yeah, 1 gig of swap should be enough. Overwrite the disk, yes. And from here, you basically just have installation of packages that you're waiting on. Check the video chapters for the next jump point. It's installing the base system, which is fine. I'm going to shrink this. I don't think anything comes up. I'm going to stop the recording for now. So I just looked up the specs of the hard drive that came with it. It is a spinning disk mechanical hard drive. 1 terabyte I should probably install to a solid state instead, but just for the sake of getting the thing up and running, we'll go with the hard drive for now. I could always wipe this, do this again on a faster drive. It's fine. And 1 terabyte's a fair bit of space. Regardless of what system you're using, this is going to be a pretty similar installation process. Of course, a faster storage device for your operating system is going to mean a faster install. So while we're waiting for this, things that I'm thinking about are whether or not the audio is actually passing over, so I'll have to test that once I get the system running, because this is the first time I've actually had a proper HDMI that would pass audio. At least it should. Network mirror, oh, let me this will be asking us what type of desktop environment we want. I might go with GNOME. I haven't used GNOME in a long time. GNOME is simple, if nothing else. Do I want to be part of the popularity contest? No. We'll get the SSH server and the web server, just so that they're already there. I like Cinnamon, I like Plasma. XFCE is really lightweight, but I'm gonna go with GNOME because there's a good chance that I'll end up handing this off to someone, and GNOME is real simple. It's not the most resource efficient, but it's relatively sleek, and it's simple. It's fine. If someone wants to customize it, they can remove GNOME. And with those settings configured, we're back to waiting for a while. You might want to jiggle the mouse every now and then to keep the system from falling asleep. Right, so as I was saying, don't know if the audio passover is actually working. I'll have to test that once the desktop's done installing. And a terabyte's a lot to work with, honestly. Like, I'm set. Alright, it's been some minutes, just checking in. Installation's still going on. And that's it. I'll be back in another few. The power just cycled? Hello? Are we still here? Oh my god, it went to sleep. Okay. Alright, we went to a black screen. I got worried. I thought the machine died on me. I saw everything still spinning, but we're good. It just decided to hibernate out. That's fine. Python. Alright. It should be almost done, I hope. Usually it gets pretty fast right at the end. This has already been going for like, I don't know, 20 minutes? Something. We've cut to installing GRUB Bootloader. It's the next prompt. Do you want to install GRUB Bootloader? This is a new installation. It's the only operating system. If you're installing... Let me get this desktop out of the way. If you're installing your first system onto a device, if you're not trying to dual boot, if you're not adding a dual boot thing, then yes, you want GRUB. The device will not be my USB drive. That's the installation media. It'll be the hard drive. If this is your first Linux system, SDA is your C drive. SDB is whatever else is plugged in, could be the D drive. By default, it usually will be the D drive if you have a secondary drive. Otherwise, it's going to start going through all of your USB devices and just give them a SD A, B, C, D, all the way down the line. But we'll install to SDA. Certain packages take longer to install than others, just be patient. Installation is complete. You could reboot and do so with the USB taken out. So we'll hit continue. It'll finalize things. I'll pop this USB out. Okay, now the installer isn't in there anymore. It's booting on its own. Post delay, yada yada. Welcome to GRUB. There's Debian. Aside from the color wheel check from the capture card, this is basically what a Debian-based system booting looks like. Oh, okay, no, we're good. We're good. I saw the disabled by TPX, TPM, whatever it is. I was worried that we still had like a safe boot setting on that I missed in the BIOS, but we're good. Just waiting, I think. Yep, all right. Got user. What did I do? GRUB. This is actually different from how I remember it. Welcome, English. Yes, English would be good, is what I speak. Typing, English. The divide or multiply toggle layout. I'm guessing that means if you have a numpad. Location services allows applications to determine. We'll go with yes. Connect your online accounts. I will skip. All done. So the first thing we're going to do is find terminal. We're going to fix the preferences on terminal because that is awful color scheme. Awful. No. Green on black is fine. How's GNOME dark? Also okay. We'll go with the green on black though. Control-Shift+. Now we have bigger text. I don't think sudo works. I shouldn't be a sudoer by default, and I'm not going to add myself. Oh, does it? Good, I'm not a sudoer. I don't like sudo. Some people like sudo. I don't. I think that when you need to do something as root, if it's your device alone, not a mainframe, if you need to do something as root, change to root, do your root action, and exit root. To do that, su, tac, and then you enter the root password that you entered on installation. When you're entering a password in command line, you will not see the password being typed in. I just typed the whole thing. You can't see anything. And we're now at root. CD-ROM not recognized by app. That is fine. What we're going to do is nano. Hopefully nano's pre-installed. Nano. Etsy. Apt. If you double hit tab, it'll come up with these autocompletes. We're going to go to Sources.List. And it has the CD-ROM option. Why is that the only line? Well, yeah, of course all packages are up to date. You don't have any lines in you. So we're going to find our default Debian repositories list. And just like that, we're also a Firefox tutorial. Let's see. First thing we're going to do, add-ons, extensions, uBlock origin, always add. We'll allow it for private windows, that's fine. One more add-on. Privacy Badger. Pretty much always you want these two things. Add, and we will let it run in private windows. My ISP knows anyway, these extensions can know anyway. It's fine. Privacy Badger. Now, I would like to switch my default system themes before I get too much further. Themes. Dark. Can we just enable? That'll work. So now a new window. By default, the web search goes to Google. We can change that. Search, default search. Go with DuckDuckGo. Just go with DuckDuckGo. So now, search the web by default to DuckDuckGo. And if you do want to search with Google instead, you just hit the search with Google instead. So, Debian repositories. So by default, searching with DuckDuckGo. There's the official sources list. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Sources list. Let's see. We'll go with Debian stable for now. If you ever need to get repositories added to your package manager that aren't already being handled, you do it through the sources list. Is that where I get my stuff? Ooh, I don't like GNOME. Might have to switch to KDE. I'm not a fan of non-free, main non-free. I'm just gonna grab all of these, because that should do the job for now. That's the, yeah, we're on Bookworm. I don't know why I'm doubting myself. There we go. And I should be able to Control O to write the file. They kind of spill over. You can see what happens when the cursor goes wherever it goes. Da-da-da-da. Simple text editor. Control X. And then hitting up to go up through our commands. So we'll run update. Should be all packages are fully up to date anyway, or close to. No, not at all. After an update, we upgrade. That's gonna take some time. While that happens, we're going to test some other stuff. That's wiki.debian.org Sources.List, and that'll get you your standard updates. Dist upgrade is good if it's been a while. And we're going to get open something from YouTube. Literally anything music-wise. Okay, we'll see if, of course, this works. Post-processing Rob here with additional context. I actually can't hear the audio right now due to capture card and OBS settings, and I only figure it out. See the monitor and output? Oh, now I could hear it. Alright, and we are almost done with our actual updates. It looks like there's kernel updates happening, which are generally larger. Might break the system depending on how you installed things. Hopefully not. And we will Control, minus, minus, minus. Look at us go. Okay, that's fine. Let's get back to help, software, files, office, show applications. Guess we'll go settings. That's fine. I don't need my network settings showing though. Appearance. Can we go dark? Ooh. That is much less abrasive on my eyes. I don't necessarily need Firefox open right now. Do we have Bluetooth? Do I actually have a Bluetooth adapter? I might have Bluetooth. Cable knob, remove that before giving that to anyone. Not crazy about the resolution of my preview right now. Is it just an issue of my capture card? We'll rerun this real quick, make sure everything's actually up to date. Then we'll go with apt install everyone's favorite neofetch. 16 megs, we'll take it. Neofetch. Boom. GTX 1080. Wow. Core i5 six cores at 4 gigahertz, not bad. GTX 1080, 16 gigs of RAM. Okay. Let's try apt install htop. So for those of you migrating from a Windows environment, htop isn't always installed. Top pretty much always is. So top looks like this, and it's basically just your process monitor. You could hit Q or you could hit Control C to close it. And then htop is just a much nicer looking top such that you have your CPU load over all of your cores, your current RAM usage, your swap memory usage, processes, and then you could change the sorting, do a whole bunch of other stuff. It's nice. And Q also closes that, or Control C. Okay, apt install Lutris is not part of the defaults. That's okay. I haven't done anything with the GPU yet. I'll have to get Steam on in a bit. Alright, I just plugged in a USB drive. Just files. USB disk. We'll grab a completely random game. Doesn't really matter. As soon as that file transfer's done, we could eject this USB. There are other dolphin videos on my channel, so if anything piques your interest, I'm happy to make a video on it or point you in the right direction. What? But yeah, that's Linux installed, and you're pretty much free to do whatever you want with it. So, this is now one of the most convoluted things I've done, because this is playing both through the desktop audio so I can hear it, but it's actually just playing over the capture card so that OBS hears it. But it's not even the computer I'm running. Anyway. But one more thing. Wait, I could actually skip that fight? Nope, just really good timing on auto suspend. So let's change our power settings. Please note, you're gonna want to adjust your system timeout settings. Okay? So, do I want to close that? No. I mean, what? There's nothing going on there. Don't sue me. So, settings. Where am I going? Power settings, I think? So, screen blank after 5 minutes? No. No. If you're gonna be using this to run other stuff, no. Automatic suspend when idle. I don't know if this running counts. I can't see myself playing more than... Yeah, we'll call it 2 hours. We'll call it an extended session. But if it is idle, go ahead and suspend. Sure. Screen blank. Power button behavior, suspend. Whatever. There we are. And it's still running. Alright, let's be done with that for now. We will power off for now. That's a Debian operating system installation, and some software on top of it to boot. I hope this was informative enough to convince you that Linux isn't really that scary. If you've made it this far, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. That's the end of the show for YouTube.